Since finding fame 50 years ago on the television talent show Opportunity Knocks, Pam Ayres has become one of Britain's best-loved poets and broadcasters.
She also has a passion for nature, and her latest documentary series, Pam, explores some of the most beautiful landscapes in the west of England. Have a look.
To this day, no one knows exactly how Stonehenge was built or what it was used for. But for thousands of years, people have come here, drawn by the sun, which aligns with the stones at different times of the year. And now I'm walking in those same ancient footsteps. Well, this is it. I'm waiting for the sun to come up and strike the stone behind me. It's going to be a really special moment. As the sun moves into position with the heel stone, its dramatic silhouette can be seen against a radiant sky. And now I can understand why Stonehenge is considered such a spiritual place. Look, the stone and the sun and the mist. It's awesome, isn't it?
Pam joins us now. Delighted to say, Pam, good morning to you.
Good morning.
You know,
Good morning.
you look
it was
like...
very profound.
Yeah, I was watching you watching yourself and just listening to what you were saying about, you know, the spirituality of the place. And I just wondered, did you know those kind of emotions could come from you before kind of going on this trip, making this programme?
Did I know what?
That you would be so spiritual, I suppose, or feel that spirituality.
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, I was taken by surprise, really, because, you know, I've been to Stonehenge in the 60s when you could sort of walk around and write your name on the stones and they were not treated with any reverence at all. But now that it's protected and you're only allowed to go there if you've got special permission, as we were lucky enough to have, it's much more just profound somehow, and very moving. And you think, well, 4,500 years ago, people knew how to place those massive stones so that on a certain day of the year, the sun would come up and strike a certain stone. And yeah, it's very moving. It was.
Pam, I've got to ask, because you brought it up, did you look for your name on the stones that you had graffitied on in the 60s?
No, I didn't graffiti it on, but myself, I'm not a vandal, but there were plenty of inscriptions on the stone, as I recall, you know, the usual sort of Kilroy was here and all that kind of stuff. But no, I was not a vandal, and I did not put my name on them, and they're very much more protected now, I'm glad to say.
I accept your defence, no worries. OK, but Pam, you've had a real adventure with this series, haven't you? You met Prince Charles, you got to speak about all sorts of stuff. What was the thing that really got you going in terms of being passionate?
It's very difficult to pick out one thing, because we've done 6 programmes, and in each of them we've been to 6 or 8 destinations at least, and so it's very hard to say. I mean, there was Stonehenge on the one hand, and there was Highgrove and Prince Charles on the other hand, and there were the water voles at East Hannay, and the wildlife hospital at Tewkesbury, and the lovely man who grows petals, enormous areas of delphiniums and cornflowers for petals for confetti, and just lovely things. So some of them were on a huge grand scale, and others were quite modest, but things perhaps you didn't know existed. Certainly I didn't know existed. So it was very educational about my own area.
Pam, morning to you. It's Charlie here. Can I ask you something, Pam? You know,
Hi, Charlie.
Hello there. If you're a comedian, you know, sometimes you meet people, I imagine and people say, oh, go on then, be funny. Do you have the same thing about being a poet, where they're meeting Pam Ayres and they say, oh, go on then, do us a poem?
Not if I see them first, no. No, I don't tend to get that, really. What people sometimes say, which is daft, really, they say, oh, I hope you're not going to write a poem about me, you know, as if I would, sort of weaponise poetry, you know. But no, they don't tend to do that.
Do you know what I'm a fan of, Pat? I like a brick wall with a door, with a small door in it. Is there a small door in that brick wall behind you?
No.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay. Just checking, really.
No, there isn't.
Are you in your own garden? Are you at home?
I am at home in my own garden. Yes, I am.
Ah, so is that a comfort place for you? Because this is obviously all about things that mean something to you. So are you someone who loves the outdoors, gardening, all that stuff?
Well, I'm a country person, Charlie. I was brought up in the country, and it's where I feel at home. And I do like growing things, and I'm very interested in wildlife. I always have been. And I think one of the reasons why I'm so interested in wildlife is because in my lifetime, so much of it has disappeared. You know, when I was growing up in the village of Stamford-in-the-Vale, you could hear the cuckoo every spring, and every summer the swifts and swallows would come back, and there'd be frogs and toads, and there'd be water voles, and everything has gone. And so, yeah, I feel protective of it, and I try to do what little bit I can.
Pam, you've kind of reflected this in your new book, haven't you? It's called Who Are You Calling Vermin? But it actually is quite socially conscious, isn't it? Was that deliberate?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's quite a ferocious book for me. Here it is, it's quite a fierce book for me, because I feel fierce, really, and I think so many other people do, about the amount of sewage that goes into the rivers. I can't believe we do that. And so in my book I've got a song for the fishermen who are complaining about all the filth in the rivers, and I've got a song for the coastal fishermen who can't afford to live in their own communities because they've all been flogged off as holiday homes, and the farmers, especially the small farmers who've lost their funding and don't know if anything's coming to replace it. So I've got all those people. I mean, it's quite a light-hearted book, but they are all talking about their genuine grievances. And also I've got various animals coming on and having a moan as well. I've got the grey squirrel, which is a much persecuted little animal, but they were brought here from America, you know, to look beautiful on Capability Brown type lawns around stately homes. They didn't want to come. And they're now very persecuted.
Pam.
They were brought here to look beautiful. So he's got a song called The Wrong Face. Yes, Charlie.
No, it's Naga. Sorry, Pam. I just thought, you know what?
Sorry, Naga.
No.
I can't see you. I've only got a voice in my ear.
I know, and my voice is very deep. It sounds just like Charlie's.
Yes,
Listen,
I know. Yes, it's a very guttural voice.
you know what we're talking about, and you're talking about serious issues in that book. Any chance you could just bring us 20 seconds of joy with a little bit of a reading of one of your poems, just bring us some joy?
Yeah, certainly I will. This is the one that Prince Charles liked, and this is one I wrote about hedgerows, because hedgerows are really important to wildlife. So I give you a little burst of it. Now the hedgerow casts its shade, the tall, the sparse, the neatly laid, with campions and parsley lined, and honeysuckle intertwined. Here a butterfly may rest, and blackbirds build their sturdy nest, and little creatures in the green may slip along and not be seen. Here may livestock sweetly browse, here may sickly sheep and cows, in the hedgerow's rich allure, find a comfort and a cure. Then blackberries and rose hips red, sloes and damsons freely shed their autumn load. Come, spread the news to native birds and voles and shrews. Come now, make a winter store, fatten up and carry more to bramble, burrow, crevice, lair, for when the winter boughs are bare. Regard again and celebrate the hedgerow with its beauty great, which in pollution ever rife breathes oxygen to give us life.
Pam Ayres, that was wonderful. Thank you so much. Thanks so much for joining us. We should say The Cotswolds and Beyond starts tomorrow night at 8 p.m. on Channel 5. Pam's latest book, you heard some of it there. Who Are You Calling Vermin? Out on the 8th of September.
Who doesn't love a small door in a wall? I mean, I know Pam Ayres didn't have one, but it's a great thing, isn't it?